it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. I grow cut flowers in Northwest Iowa in Zone 5A. And today I am inside doing a little bit of an experiment. I just received another box of tulip bulbs in the mail as a thank you gift. Now, if you are a member of the Flower Farmers Wholesale Facebook group, it is run by a guy named Jake. It is a wonderful resource for flower farmers. He sent me a box of tulip bulbs as a thank you. So I am gonna get these planted today. Now, it's currently 5 degrees outside, so I am done planting bulbs outside. And if you've been following my videos, you have seen that I've already planted close to 2,000 tulip bulbs. So this box that I received in the mail, I am gonna do a little experiment and plant them in a crate. And what I'm hoping that I'll be able to do is at some point bring this inside and force these tulips to bloom earlier so that I have some earlier tulips than what I have growing outside in my garden. Now, I'm only going to do one crate like this because it's just an experiment, but I'm hoping if this works, maybe in future years I can do more and then I can extend my tulip growing season. So anyway, let me show you how I'm gonna get this planted. Now this box, I have no idea how many tulips are in here. I don't even know what is in here. This is gonna be a total surprise, which will be really fun. And this is the crate that I'm using. I actually got this from, I think, Dutch Bulbs when I ordered a bunch of tulip bulbs for them. So I decided to save it because I knew I would use it at some point. So this is what I'm gonna plant my bulbs in. Now you can see it's full of holes. So what I'm gonna do is line it with landscape fabric. And I have cut a big piece of the landscape fabric that I use outside. This is the DeWitt brand. And I am gonna line my crate with this before I put the soil in. Now this landscape fabric is gonna let the moisture through when I water these because it's gonna be sitting outside, but it's not going to let the dirt out, which I think should work really good. In my head, it seems like it'll work good anyway. So let me go ahead and get this lined with the fabric and then I'll show you how I'm gonna plant the bulbs. Okay, so this is not gonna look the prettiest, but it's definitely gonna work. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the soil in first and get everything planted, and then I'll just trim the excess landscape fabric off of the top. So what I'm using for soil, I went to one of our local garden centers yesterday and I picked this up. I've never used it before, but it does have a little bit of slow release fertilizer in it. I'm gonna use this. I also have some seed starting mix that is already damp. There's not much left. I used this morning when I did a seed starting project. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that in there too. It won't hurt anything. This potting soil does feel pretty dry in the bag, and so a little bit of moisture is probably actually gonna help. So I'm gonna pour this in first and try not to make a mess since I am inside. Okay, we'll start with that. Now when I planted my tulip bulbs outside in the ground, I made sure that they were at least 6 inches deep. And so I want to make sure that I do about the same depth when I'm planting them in this crate. So I may have actually put a little too much soil in here to start. So now I'm going to take some back out. Black was probably not the color to wear when I'm doing this. I think I still need a little bit more out of there. There we go. That's better. So I have probably a good 2 to 3 inches of soil underneath where the bulbs are going to be planted. And then I definitely have 6 inches of soil that will be above the bulbs. And so I'm going to try that and we'll see how it goes. Now this soil already has a little bit of slow release fertilizer mixed in. That's what it said on the bag. But I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of bulb tone on top of the soil. Also, this is what I used when I planted my tulips out in the ground. Woo! I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on top of the soil. Okay, not as much as I normally would outside, but I do want to try a little bit in there. Okay, so now I want to plant my tulip bulbs in this crate just like I would plant them out in the ground, which is like eggs in a crate. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and let's see how many bulbs I can fit into this crate. And you'll notice that some of them, like this one, are actually sprouting already, which is fine. I also am noticing that there is a variety of sizes of bulbs in this box. Like this one is a lot bigger than those. So that tells me that there's definitely different varieties in here. Now when you plant your tulip bulbs, you want to make sure you plant with the point up, because the bottom is where the roots come out. And with these, it's pretty obvious to tell where the growth points are, but if they did not have those growth points, you always want to make sure that the point is up. Okay, so I have fit all of the bulbs that can fit into this crate in here. I still probably have half a box of bulbs left, so I'm gonna have to find a pot or something to put these in. I mean, I can't waste them, right? So now I'm just gonna put this soil on top of it, and I'm gonna fill it to the very top of the crate. Now again, this is something that I'm doing just as an experiment this year. If this is something you have done before, comment below and let me know if you had success with it, if you think I'm doing it wrong. But I think this will be fun just to see what the outcome is. I think I still need a little more soil. Since this is in a crate and it's not as insulated as being in the actual ground, I want to make sure that I have enough soil on top of these bulbs. All right, I just went ahead and used the whole bag. So for reference, this was a 1 cubic foot bag of potting mix. Plus I had a little bit of that seed starting mix left. Okay, and that is pretty much perfectly level. Next, I'm just gonna trim this landscape fabric off to clean things up. And these smaller pieces that I am cutting off, I'm gonna save, because when I pot my annual flowers to put around my house and out in the front of my business, I like to put a piece of landscape fabric in the bottom of the pot over the drain hole. That helps drain the moisture, but it doesn't let the soil out of the bottom of your pot. So just one tip there of a use for landscape fabric. So now I'm just gonna set this outside, and I will make sure to do some updates when I bring them inside and things hopefully start actually blooming. So that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.